Developing today, Prince Harry's meltdown. New reporting reveals that he is in bad dad therapy over fears he could become a deadbeat father and divorcee like King Charles.
Prince Harry is reportedly in a full-blown breakdown, accusing King Charles of being a bad dad in therapy sessions, while Meghan faces public backlash for allegedly lying about their children's lives. Leaked details suggest Harry is reliving Diana's trauma, blaming his father, and using Archie and Lilibet to guilt Charles into contact. Meanwhile, Meghan's latest claims about a farmer's market stand have been fact-checked and exposed. The royal split isn't just personal anymore, it's turning into a public unraveling.
I think he genuinely is losing it at the moment. So there's this speech that he's giving for Travelist.
Yes.
But it's like he's going through the motions. He doesn't look engaged. He just looks and feels like a broken man, I thought, when he was delivering this speech. Watch.
Represents 10% of global GDP, the opportunity to drive positive social change is enormous. Our new data initiative aims to give us a clearer understanding of how tourism can be a genuine force for good and what changes are needed to ensure that it delivers on that promise. I've seen tourism done well, and I've seen it done poorly, as many of you in this room probably have too. It's what inspired me to create Travelist in the first place, because the business relies on destinations, and those destinations are held together by the people who call them home. Tourism has the potential to make an incredible difference if we channel it with good intentions. And with the industry set for a massive growth expected to represent nearly 11.4% of the global economy by 2033, we have to be single-minded in how we harness that power. At Travelist, we're committed to creating a tourism industry that works for everyone, not just for those sitting in boardrooms or on faraway islands. Our collective responsibility is clear: to ensure that travel becomes a positive impact sector and the benefits reach every level of society.
To the brave men and women of the Bundeswehr, a heartfelt thank you for your steadfast service to your country, to your people, and to one another. Today is also a celebration of you, the values you stand for, the oath you took, and the great country you stand to protect. Today, let us renew our commitment, together, to protect the freedoms that define who we are, to serve each other for peace, for dignity, and for the enduring promise of democracy. Vielen Dank und einen schönen Tag.
It's the worst I've ever seen him. He looks and feels broken, and it's like he doesn't believe what he's saying. He's going through the motions.
It's robotic, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like wind it up and blah, blah, blah. Yes.
Did you see that?
It's very, very sad. I think it's very, very sad.
Prince Harry is now making headlines for reportedly telling his therapist that he's terrified of becoming a deadbeat dad, just like King Charles. Yes, deadbeat dad. The kind of phrase you expect in a messy divorce case, not royal therapy notes. But here's the twist. Charles was never a deadbeat. He didn't vanish, and he certainly paid his dues, both financially and publicly. As one commentator put it, Charles didn't marry a yacht girl. Let's start there. Meghan Markle, Meghan Sussex, has allegedly pushed this narrative through wellness circles, and suddenly therapy has become the new battleground. It's like emotional warfare disguised as healing. According to reports, Harry is bringing up the moment Diana told friends that Charles made a cruel joke the second Harry was born, mocking his red hair and hinting at infidelity. But here's where it gets complicated. Royal insiders say Charles actually gave loving interviews about Harry's birth and called it a marvelous experience. So why is Harry recycling this trauma now? Some say it's part of Meghan's strategy, emotional storytelling wrapped in royal revenge. Meghan Markle, the queen of I don't know what this means, but I'm going to say it anyway. Meanwhile, Harry gives speeches like he's still a working royal. Why? It's pathetic. If he walked away, why is he still acting like he's in charge of the crown?
What she actually said, in case people did miss out. Must-watch analysis of the car crash interview. Here you go.
Sure. Do you have, I mean, your kids are really little, mine are a bit older. Do you have conversations with your kids about money? Like, how are you even beginning to think about that type of thing?
Well, we sometimes do a little farmer's market stand.
Nice.
So we have...
That's so American. I love that idea. Like a little lemonade stand just makes me feel like that is like perfect Americana in Montecito with a farm stand.
But
like,
we do...
How beautiful.
We grow a lot of veggies, and part of what I want them
go and sell these.
Part of what I want them to learn is, and gardening is really, really so great for children because it teaches them patience, teaches them to value and appreciate their food. So you start from seed and you watch it grow and they wait. But with that, it's like, now do you want to sell your harvest? And do you want to share it with our community? And also, what do you want to do with those funds once you have them? So really starting to understand, as they're learning counting and numbers and all of those things, that there's a cost and a price for things.
Yes.
And I think that's key for children to understand that, especially children who are very lucky to have a home that has privilege. You need to know that, just like manners, and taking care of the things around you, there is a value on things. And in our life, for my husband and I, it's really important that they understand the value of things.
So let's talk about Meghan's latest fairy tale, this time from her interview with Emma Grede. Meghan claimed that little Archie and Lilibet run a cute farmer's market stand in Montecito, selling their homegrown fruit and veg to learn the value of money. Heartwarming? Maybe. True? Not according to community notes on X, which immediately flagged the story. Turns out, you need certification and legal clearance to sell produce in California, and surprise, the Sussexes aren't on the list. Honestly, who sends a 4-year-old to sell carrots like they're auditioning for Shark Tank Jr.? Meghan Markle, again, not to be confused with Meghan Sussex, spoke about this as if it were a weekly tradition, but not one single photo exists. Not a blurry paparazzi snap, not even a smug lifestyle reel. Strange for someone who brands every tea cup moment. No? This whole tale feels like Meghan trying to cosplay Catherine again. Chickens, beekeeping, jam jars, and now garden kids with pocket money? It's giving royal fanfiction. As one viewer joked, you'd think the Sussexes grew up in a Hallmark movie. Meghan wants the world to see her as the Earth Mama Duchess, but the cracks are starting to show, and so are the receipts. Behind the scenes, there's a new royal strategy that reeks of desperation. According to the Daily Mail, Prince Harry allegedly approved the release of those carefully staged back-of-the-head photos of Archie and Lilibet not for public adoration, but to emotionally manipulate King Charles. The goal? To make Charles feel guilty for not seeing his grandchildren. But here's the kicker, Charles reportedly won't even take a Zoom call. That's how far things have fallen. And really, what's Charles supposed to feel from a photo of a toddler's back? Royal sentiment doesn't come from Instagram posts, it comes from genuine connection. But Meghan and Harry seem to think emotional blackmail is a viable communication tool now. And let's not forget, Charles is battling cancer. Yet Harry continues to go on press tours, therapy leaks, and public blame games. Angela Levin nailed it when she said Harry isn't seeking reconciliation, he's seeking revenge. Meghan, of course, remains front and center. Everything, and we mean everything, somehow circles back to her. Whether it's therapy, media strategy, or even royal fallout, it always ends with Harry defending Meghan like she's the monarchy's final boss. Someone needs to remind him, if you keep burning the bridge, there won't be one left to cross. Let's clear this up. King Charles isn't cutting off Harry out of pride. According to royal insiders and Angela Levin, he's doing it because Harry has become unpredictable, maybe even dangerous to the monarchy's stability. Between the tell-all memoir Spare, the BBC interview that practically declared war on the firm, and a steady stream of therapy revelations, Charles reportedly no longer trusts that anything said in private will stay private. And can you blame him? Harry has turned family trauma into a global brand. It's not just emotional, it's legal. With Charles still navigating health concerns, including a cancer diagnosis, he can't afford public meltdowns or media traps. If he speaks to Harry about the weather, Harry might run to the press claiming it was a veiled comment about Meghan. It's that toxic. And let's be honest, Charles has always been the more reserved royal, not the kind to throw mud in the tabloids. So the only defense left? Silence. Painful, but strategic. It's like trying to argue with someone who brings a microphone to every dinner. Meghan, meanwhile, isn't helping. Every move Harry makes seems laced with her influence. As Angela said, you can't heal when you're stuck in a blame loop, and right now, Harry's therapy sounds less like self-work and more like a script Meghan edited. There's a growing belief inside royal circles that Harry isn't actually listening to his therapists, he's just performing emotional theater under Meghan's direction. Angela Levin put it bluntly, he won't listen to anyone but Meghan. And that's the root of the problem. Real therapy requires openness, independence, and the ability to hear uncomfortable truths. But if you walk into counseling already, convinced your wife is right about everything and your family is the enemy, you're not healing, you're rehearsing. This isn't just about Meghan being a strong influence. It's about emotional dependency. Harry has made it clear that his world revolves around her. But when your entire identity is built around defending one person, especially at the cost of your father, brother, and country, you're not in love. You're in survival mode. And Meghan knows it. That's why every time Harry seems to gain public sympathy, another story drops, carefully curated, always centered on her, and conveniently timed to distract from her own controversies, even. Angela hinted at this dynamic, describing Meghan as someone who pours a glass of wine and spins a new story, while Harry clings to the idea that she's the only one who truly understands him. At this point, Harry's in a castle of mirrors, and every reflection says, apologize to Meghan. In 2020, when Harry and Meghan announced they wanted to step back from royal duties, many assumed the late Queen Elizabeth would leave the door open for reconciliation. But according to royal correspondent Rebecca English, it was one specific word that changed everything: collaborate. Harry allegedly told the Queen they wanted to collaborate with the monarchy. Sounds harmless, right? Not in royal protocol. You don't collaborate with the Queen, you serve under her. That one word made it clear they didn't understand, or, worse, didn't respect the hierarchy. Angela Levin agrees this was a turning point. For a monarch raised on duty, not brand partnerships, collaborate sounded like a corporate takeover plan. The Queen reportedly ended the discussion and made up her mind there would be no half-in, half-out deal. Meghan may have thought she could dip in for tiaras and PR moments, then duck out for Netflix and lemon cake interviews. But monarchy doesn't work like a California startup. The Queen's silence spoke volumes. No rebuttals, no public anger. Just a royal door closing quietly, but firmly. And with it, Meghan and Harry's last real chance at returning with dignity. Meghan Markle, the Queen of I left, but I still want royal perks. For years, the palace stayed quiet. No matter what Meghan said in interviews, no matter how many truth bombs Harry dropped, royal insiders refused to hit back. But that's changing. According to Rebecca English, former royal staffers, some of whom worked directly under Meghan, are finally speaking up. And what they describe isn't a misunderstood duchess. It's someone they say was absolutely vile. These were people who helped her, protected her, and supported her behind the scenes, only to be allegedly mistreated and discarded. Angela Levin backs this up, noting that these weren't distant aides. These were long-serving professionals who knew the royal system better than anyone, and they've never gone public without reason. For them to break ranks now? That's huge. It signals that the firm has had enough. Meghan's image as the polished victim is cracking, and behind it is a growing list of people who claim her kindness was surface-level PR. One insider even claimed that Meghan would micromanage staff to the point of emotional exhaustion, then accused them of sabotage when things didn't go her way. Meanwhile, Harry stood by silently, too afraid, or too loyal, to intervene. With Meghan, if the story stops working, someone else always takes the fall. Meghan's now viral story about Archie and Lilibet selling homegrown veggies wasn't just charming, it was strategic. She painted herself as a humble, hands-on mom teaching life lessons about money and patience. But viewers immediately smelled something off. No photos, no bystanders, no social media posts. In Montecito, Meghan can't even take her dog to the vet without getting papped. Yet somehow, 2 royal kids run a produce stand and no one noticed? Right, then came the fact check. According to California law, anyone selling food must have permits, and Meghan's family isn't registered. That didn't just poke holes in her story, it unraveled the whole narrative. And let's be real, this isn't the first time Meghan's been caught embellishing. From claims about being silenced to the Oprah chickens, we've heard plenty of romanticized sound bites. But over time, viewers start to connect the dots. And they're not drawing a princess, they're sketching a brand manager in a tiara, she wanted a teachable moment. Instead, she taught the public how to spot a PR move in real time. Funny how that works. Until now, the royal family's unofficial motto has been never complain, never explain. But after years of silence, sources say that's starting to change. Behind the scenes, senior royals are giving quiet approval for former staff and close insiders to speak out, especially those who witnessed Meghan's alleged behavior firsthand. What was once seen as beneath the crown is now viewed as necessary damage control. After all, if Meghan and Harry keep rewriting history in the press, who will protect the truth? Angela Levin says the royals aren't planning a flashy public takedown. They're letting trusted voices, like respected journalists and long-serving aides, do the talking. It's subtle, but powerful, and it sends a message. We've had enough. As more of these insider accounts begin to surface, it's clear the dynamic is shifting. The media no longer treats Meghan and Harry's version of events as gospel. Instead, the question is, what else have they hidden? And that's where things get interesting. Because if even half of these rumors are true, what happens next could reshape the monarchy for years. We'll be covering that in more detail in an upcoming episode, because some of what's been uncovered isn't just controversial,